Good news coming out of Kansas, okay? A lot of people have talked about how the Republicans have overplayed their hand with this like abortion decision. You know, this is going to bite them in the ass. Democrats were failing on their own, and then Republicans had to go too far with their victory laps, you know, and now people are upset at them because even Republicans are like, well, we want access to this medical procedure if there's a way, right? So Kansas had a ballot measure to basically take out a Kansas Supreme Court decision made back in 2019 that would protect abortion at least up to 22 weeks, if I'm not mistaken, in the state of Kansas. And because of the Kansas Supreme Court justice, the Kansas State Supreme Court justice, making such a decision, abortion was, at least within the Constitution of the state of Kansas, constitutionally protected. And of course, the Republicans were like, yeah, fuck that. We don't want to do that. We want to take that down, which is why there was a ballot measure. Now, that ballot measure played out in a way that I guess the Kansas Republicans were not expecting. A no vote on the ballot measure would mean that Kansas would continue protecting abortion rights. And a yes vote would mean that Kansas would be able to overturn the decision of the Kansas Supreme Court justice, which would then allow Kansas State Legislature and the Republicans in the Kansas State Legislature to turn around and implement new criminalization, implement new laws and opportunities to criminalize abortion. Now, there was a lot of fucking shady shit that went on. But what ended up happening is actually good news, which is very rare. By the way, our good news in America now is literally like, for the time being, people who are pregnant in that, like inside of Kansas State and near Kansas can be able to get an abortion, like a medical procedure that, you know, should be constitutionally protected. So just remember that, okay? Like, this is such a, like, minor victories now literally are like, oh yeah, gay people, don't be afraid. You can still get married if that law passes in the Senate. You know what I mean? It's like the bar is in hell. Okay, but remember, Kansas is a red state, and remember, I fucking told you time and time again that even in red fucking states, that the overwhelming majority of people want to make sure that people still have bodily autonomy and can get a fucking medical procedure if they want to, because the other side of this argument is fucking insane, and it revolves around religious zealotry. No matter how much the likes of Ben Shapiro and others try to make it seem like it's not about that, like it's actually just baby murder or whatever, people still want to be able to get this medical procedure if they want to, okay? If they need to. So let's watch this. There's some inferences that you can make out of this. I think people are celebrating it. I think people are celebrating it too soon.
In Kansas, the first state to vote on abortion since the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade. Voters there triggered a strong backlash, affirming the state's constitution, which protects abortion rights. Remember, Kansas is a deep red state where there are far more Republicans than Democrats.
Kansas is pretty purple. 2 of the last 3 governors are Democrats. Brother, that's crazy to think. Governors, what do I always tell you? Not look at gubernatorial races to understand what the state looks like. Do not assume a state is purple because they have the opposite party's representative in the governorship. That doesn't mean anything. There are plenty of fucking blue states with red governors, and there are red states with blue governors. That doesn't mean anything. I promise. The gubernatorial race is one of the few races where like people only care about who you are, what your policies are, and your vibes, rather than just voting down the fucking voting down ballot and striking fucking Republican if you're just a Republican voter. Now, that still motivates most people, but but unlike any of the other fucking races, the governor oftentimes is voted on vibe checks and ideology, or their personal ideology, rather than party loyalty.
This was the moment the results came in. Kansas voters overwhelmingly decided to protect access to abortion.
It's a huge victory for Kansas, for women, for reproductive rights in America.
The first political test in a post-Roe America.
Make no mistake, I'm not a fan of letting states decide. I am an authoritarian. There is a federal government that is supposed to do the right thing. If you let states decide, we'd still have fucking slavery, which we do. But like, straight up slavery, you know what I mean? Which we kind of do. 13th Amendment, prison system. But I mean like just straight up human chattel slavery, right? I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of like let the states decide. But with abortion, it's such a fucking like obvious. It's such an obvious example of like the Republicans going absolutely ape mode, bananas with how much fucking power they're able to exercise in an undemocratic capacity. That like even if you were to let states decide, you would get this result, even in fucking red states like Kansas. And you have. Now that's the reason why you will see other red states never make a mistake like this. So remind yourself of that. Other states are not going to make this mistake. They're not going to put this fucking ballot measure up. Can you imagine? Like, I don't think Texas would ever do that. Some states don't even have. Tanky is coming out. Yeah, no, I'm fucking. If you think that that means rolling tanks over like Hungarian people or some shit, then yeah, I'm willing to do that 100%. Yeah, call me a tanky all you want. Motherfuckers don't know what like the words mean. Okay, well, you just don't understand. I mean, you're just a Republican at that point, straight up. If you think that like the federal government undermining the will of like random states that want to do horrifying things to a minority, sometimes a majority of people, and the federal government preventing that is actually tanky behavior, then yeah, I'm a fucking tanky. Call me that all the way, baby. Straight up. I'm rolling the fucking tanks, okay? It's the same energy as like fucking dumbass ANCAP libertarians being like, aha, taxes are theft. All taxes are theft. I mean, this is the funniest take, by the way. We definitely have some hogs in Kansas, but at least we're better than Missouri. Yeah, no shit, brother. I'm sorry to report this, but like, you know, being better than Missouri doesn't mean anything, okay? Like, you're technically better than fucking Oklahoma as well, because Oklahoma constantly is trying to be worse than Texas when they easily could be better than Texas, but they refuse to be better than Texas. And it's like a fucking constant swan dive into who can be the most cruel and awful. The state is literally called Missouri, okay? Misery. Like not engaging in the fucking never-ending competition of who can be the worst state. It doesn't necessarily make you a great state, okay? I mean, for now, yes, but so many of these little bitches act up like Idaho, Indiana right now is popping off. They're like, oh my God, Ohio's gotten too much. Ohio, also known as Western Pennsylvania, has gotten too much coverage being fucking dickheads. We need to do something. We need to be the fucking worst. Here it is. What messaging worked in Kansas? Let's look at the ads from the winning no team. One theme, labeling the proposed amendment as government mandate. In this ad, the word for abortion is not said. It's a strict government mandate designed to interfere with the private medical decisions. Kansas don't want another government mandate.
They call it a constitutional amendment. The truth, it's a strict government mandate designed to interfere with private medical decisions. A slippery slope that could put more of your individual and personal rights at risk. The ballot language is...
That's good. I like that. I like that a lot.
It's confusing, but one thing is clear. Kansans don't want another government mandate. So on August 2nd, send a message.
Get them hogs going, brother. Yeah, I fucking hate the federal government. Yay. Hey, whatever works, dude. When your most basic rights are being undermined by the Republican Party, whatever fucking messaging works. Straight up. God, Americans are so brain broken. I'm losing my mind. This ad emphasizes existing abortion rules to suggest the amendment. They should have just done an ad being like, listen, do you want to be as bad as Missouri? Hey, Kansas, do you want to be as bad as Missouri? No, right? Come on. I mean, that's too far. Don't do that. Dude, honestly, this is, and I have to remind you guys all the time of this exact same thing. This is further proof. Most popular politician in the United States of America is a faceless ballot measure that is incredibly progressive and not immediately associated with the Democratic Party or a Democratic politician. That's it. That's why you consistently see ballot measures, especially in fucking red states, like, should we institute communism tomorrow? Should we create a dictatorship of the proletariat tomorrow? It wins by like 75%. Meanwhile, there's like a barn burner for like, whichever fucking fascist is running for office on both sides of the political spectrum. Whoever wins in a state like Florida wins by like 0.1%. Meanwhile, Florida would be like 85% allowing the minimum wage to be $30 an hour. And of course, there are places, I mean, Florida has learned their lesson from this. Florida legislatures are passing bill to limit citizen ballot initiatives. The $3,000 cap is the same limit set on contributions on individual legislative campaigns. Floridians who want to amend the state constitution through a citizen initiative and bypass the unresponsive state legislature will now have their ability to finance the effort severely limited if a bill sent to the governor by the Florida House on Monday becomes law. So they're imposing a $3,000 cap on contributions to any political committee sponsoring or opposing a constitutional amendment proposed by initiative. Money is free speech, except for when you are trying to get literally like the actual grassroots initiative launched. Okay, so here are some things I want to mention about this. This Vote No ballot initiative created a major turnout opportunity. Republicans are demons, but they're not stupid. And I think if it were up to the state GOP, if it were up to the fucking Republican Party, they would have never let this fucking ballot measure be on the ballot. They would have never done that because they recognize that abortion, at the very least, they recognize as a galvanizing and deeply unpopular position that the Republican Party has. Republicans want to win elections. They don't give a fuck about anything. Republicans want to undermine democracy, and they regularly do it all the time. This actually drove a lot of people to the polls to go out and vote for something. You know what I mean? If you're a woman, if you're someone who has the capability of becoming pregnant, if you are someone who's empathetic, and even though you're disillusioned and even though you don't care about voting for the Democratic Party, all of a sudden you're like, boom, well, now I got to go fucking vote. This is crazy. So it did drive people to the polls. It did drive people to go out, and it fucking backfired on the Catholic Church's face or whoever the fuck that wanted to like strip these rights away. So that's precisely why these places, 4 times the previous midterms, 900,000, 4 times the previous midterms in Kansas. I mean, this is huge. This is as dirty as you can get. The anti-abortion coalition is sending out a last-minute mass text to Kansas pro-choice voters, blatantly lying about the abortion amendment so they vote the wrong way, and it failed. So get fucked, nerds. But yeah, Republicans were trying to trick pro-choice voters, as I said already, as I mentioned already. But like Republican groups were trying to get people to vote, like pro-choice Democratic Party voters, like likely fucking pro-choice voters, to vote the opposite way by using the confusing wording on the language. That's how all ballot measures are, for the most part, unfortunately. Okay, but yeah, women in Kansas are losing their choice on reproductive rights. Voting yes on the amendment will give a woman a choice. Vote yes to protect a woman's health. Vote yes to protect a woman's health. Vote yes to give a woman a choice. It's the exact opposite. No, for those of you wondering, I wonder if they accidentally made anti-abortion voters confused and vote no. No, they don't fucking send this to anti-abortion voters, brother. They know who's likely to vote no on a measure like this. They know who's pro-choice. It is illegal, but like also many things are, but it doesn't even fucking matter. This was Nate Cohn's initial take. It'll be a while until we get the voter file data on this election, but I think there's a chance this was the largest partisan turnout advantage in a high turnout election that Democrats have enjoyed as long as I followed election data. We don't know if this is going to translate. There's still 99 days until the midterms, okay? We don't know if the momentum will keep up. We don't know what kind of messaging flubs the Democratic Party will engage in. We know that the Democratic Party has a really awful time getting behind popular ballot measures and popular initiatives. They're really fucking bad. All they know is to sit back and not fuck shit up sometimes on accident. So there's a likelihood that they might fuck this up still. That's why I always tell you, like, don't ever expect, especially in American politics, for things to go a certain way.
A couple things that stick out to me in this. First of all, to get a number up near 60%, where the no is going to land on this, there were some Republicans who voted in the Republican primary just mathematically and then voted no on this. So there was crossover voting in that direction, trying to figure out exactly how much. But that's an ingredient that had to be part of this. Another ingredient, though, is I think something that Democrats have been talking about politically since that Supreme Court decision to overturn Roe versus Wade. They have been saying that it would have a particular effect in the suburban areas of the country where Democrats have been making the biggest inroads over the last decade, particularly with college-educated.
I don't understand. Way more of that map looks orange to me, brother. That's right. Land distribution is how you're supposed to do these sorts of things, right? They stole it. That's insane, bro. 70%. And hey, guess what? The largest distinction or the biggest predictor at this point, not the biggest predictor, but one of the biggest predictors at this point for like how you're going to end up voting is the distinction between rural voters and urban voters. You live in a city, you're likely to fucking vote Democratic. And a lot of big cities have a lot of people in them. Now, that also creates unique opportunities in redistricting. When you district, you can district away gigantic swaths of the population, so you only get one fucking vote and ensure that there is no democratic process. You are watching that. If you take a whole bunch of areas where there's just fucking cows and a couple cousin fuckers, and then put a state representative within the state legislature from one of those cow fucking cousin fucking areas, and then make that count for one representative, just like an entire fucking city, all of a sudden, you got like 8 cow fucking, cousin fucking representatives at the state legislature for the same amount of population from one fucking district in the cities.
So that shows an extreme level of interest in just the place Democrats were saying after that Supreme Court ruling that you would have new political engagement or higher political engagement. And now the question, if Democrats were right about that point, the question is, this is a referendum on abortion. What Democrats have also been saying is that this sentiment, this energy will attach itself to the general election, to the Democrat versus Republican races.
That's the question on everybody's minds. Is this turnout actually changing the outcome of the midterm elections, which were going to absolutely eviscerate the Democratic Party? I don't know. I can't say. I'm not going to fucking sit here and make a prediction. Okay. 70% of Kansans who registered to vote after 6/24, the Dobbs decision, were women, dude. That's wild. Not to get too libbed up here, but, you know, hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. And they did do that a little bit. Now, of course, make no mistake, there are still Republican women who will vote to protect abortions, but still go fucking vote down ballot.
In just one decade, from Mitt Romney's election night to last night, our Republicans have lost 26 points in this county. Of course, we're comparing apples and oranges a bit here, but you look at Mitt Romney's 57% and you look at the Republicans' 31% last night. That's pretty incredible.
Yeah, no, and as I say, again, there are counties like this across the country. You know, you just think of these big suburban counties.
There is something I fucking hate about this. The thing that I hate about this, ultimately, is that, like, the Democratic Party's, gambit on allowing Republicans to destroy civil liberties to a degree where, like, that will automatically create a base of support and galvanize people to go out and fucking vote in the polls is working. And that shit pisses me off a little bit, okay? Not gonna lie. That kind of sucks. It's annoying that, like, the Democrats can still get away with not doing shit and just allowing Republicans to destroy the fucking country. But what are you gonna do? Why should we, as normal people, care about this stuff if there's not much we can do? Do I need to sub to get my question answered? No, dumbass. What do you mean, as normal people care about this stuff? I mean, this is one of those instances where, like, your vote directly mattered. And when your vote directly matters, you're more likely to go out and vote.
Kansas now will allow abortions still up to 22 weeks. That's 5.5 months. And the feminists were screaming. It is unreal to think that they see this as a violation of civil rights. Also, Demi Lovato.
So what happened? What happened, bro? What happened? I thought you wanted to leave it up to the states. Leave it up. I thought this was about to be more democratic. So what happens? You actually do get democracy and you're like, oh, just kidding. Don't want that kind of democracy. Suck my cock, bitch. Fuck you. Also, Demi Lovato
is a guy now. Wait, she's not a guy, Dave?
Demi Lovato added she, her, back to her gender pronouns, but still is using they, them. Let's make a fucking entire goddamn video around this. Son, please be nicer to her. Steven is in a dark place. She needs to come out of the closet. Oh, damn. States' rights, but only if you agree with me. Yeah, I mean, that's how it works. That's why I always tell you, like, the whole states' rights shit is bullshit. At least I'm honest, and I say I will roll the fucking tanks. I will roll the tanks. If it means protecting civil liberties, I will roll the fucking tanks. I don't give a shit. Fuck those people.
That if you look at other counties, we could just look at counties in rural, Kansas here. I mean, again, this is what I say. There were Republicans, who voted no on this. Here's just one random county in rural western Kansas.
Listen, in your fucking podunk backwater county where, you want to be able to make sure that your cousin carries your fucking incestual semen into term, you can do that. You know what I mean? You can do that. Like, look at the numbers of voters, bro. Like, the town that he's referencing, look at this, please. Look at the number of voters in this fucking county versus this fucking county. Johnson is the largest county with 166,000 no votes and 76,000 yes votes. And then he flips it over to fucking Clark It's like a total 700 people, dude. Are you fucking kidding me? Why is that a county? Why do they get to make a decision? Half of the fucking county is already related to one another. Only 257 people are not literally from the same incestuous fuck family. That's crazy to me. God damn it, dude. I fucking hate, God, Jesus Christ, dude. I hate the American heartland so much. Call me fucking anti-worker or whatever all you want. I'm sorry. But it's just like, I have endless disdain for places where there's like 700 people living, okay? This is coming off as anti-democratic. Is it coming off as anti-democratic that like entire fucking counties can have so much outsized political power